Hello, my name is Miss Jones. I teach third grade elementary math, and welcome to my channel, Miss Math Jones. Today we're going to be working on third grade Eureka Module 3, Lesson 22 homework. The objective for the homework is to multiply a two-digit number by a one-digit number using the standard algorithm. Let's get started. Number one says, solve using each method. So they want us to solve with using partial products first, then by using the standard algorithm. Okay, so with partial products, we're going to break apart the big number, right? Using a 10 and a 1. So for 21, we would be breaking it apart by saying 20 plus 1. All right, let's get started. So we have 20 times 4 plus 1 times 4. So see, we broke apart the 21. 20 plus 1. And we multiply both times 4. That's using partial product. So first we're going to solve 20 times 4, which is 80, plus 1 times 4, which is 4. And then we add that together. 80 plus 4 is 84. So we've solved 21 times 4 using partial product. Now we're going to solve it using the standard algorithm. So we're going to start by multiplying 4 times 1. Well, 4 times 1 is 4. Then we're going to multiply 4 times 2. And 4 times 2 is 8. And you see we have the same answer of 84. Personally, I like the standard algorithm because it's a little quicker. But partial product is just another strategy that you can use to multiply. And if you're more comfortable with using partial products, that's fine. Let's move on to B. So we're going to be multiplying 56 times 3. And we're going to do partial product first. Well, the number 56, if we break it into tens and ones, then we have 50 plus 6. So we have two equations now. 50 times 3 plus 6 times 3. So first, let's solve 50 times 3. Well, if 5 times 3 is 15, then 50 times 3 is 150. And we add that to 6 times 3, which is 18. And 150 plus 18 is 168. Now let's solve the exact same problem using the standard algorithm. So first we start with multiplying 3 times 6. 3 times 6 is 18, and we can't write the whole 18 down there. Well, we shouldn't. And we're going to write the 8 in the ones place and carry the 1 over the tens place. Then we're going to multiply 3 times 5, which is 15. And we can write that down. So we write the whole 15 down. Now, remember, we have that 1 that we carried over the tens place. So we have to add that to our solution of 158. So now we have 158 plus 10. And if we start with our ones place, it's 8 plus 0, which is 8. 5 plus 1, which is 6. And 1 plus 0, which is 1. So we have our solution of 168. Again, two different strategies, same answer. Now, if you need to pause the video so that you can check your work against my work, go ahead and do so now. Or if you need to write everything down to make sure that you have complete and correct answer for your homework, you can do that now. Let's look at number 2. Now, for number 2, it asks us to solve only using the standard algorithm. So, we're going to start by multiplying the digit at the bottom times the number in the ones place, then the digit at the bottom times the number in the tens place. We're going to do that for every single one. Let's start with A. We have 32 times 4. So we'll start by multiplying 4 times 2. And 4 times 2 is 8. Then we're going to multiply 4 times 3. And 4 times 3 is 12. And our solution for 32 times 4 is 128. Now let's move on to B. 42 times 6. We'll start by multiplying 6 times 2. 6 times 2 is 12, so we're going to write our 2 in the ones place and carry our 1 over the tens place. Then we're going to multiply 6 times 4. 4 is 24, so we just write that down, but we can't forget about that 1 that we carried over the tens place. That is a whole 10. So we have to add that 10 to our solution of 242. And we start by adding with the ones place. 2 plus 0 is 2. 4 plus 1 is 5. And 2 plus 0 is 2. So our answer for 42 times 6 is 252. Now let's move on to C. We have 14 times 7. So again, let's start by multiplying 7 times 4. And 7 times 4 is 28. So we're going to write our 8 in the ones place and carry our 2 over the tens place. Next, we're going to multiply 7 times 1, which is 7. So we write that down. But we cannot forget about our 2 over the tens place. And since the 2 is in the tens place, that actually is a 20. So we're going to add our 20 to our current solution of 78. So now it's 78 plus 20. Now let's start with adding in our ones place. 8 plus 0 is 8. And 7 plus 2 is 9. So our answer for 14 times 7 is 98. Now, if you need to go ahead and pause so that you can check your answers against mine, go ahead and do so now. Or if you need to write down your math to make sure you have complete and correct homework, go ahead and do so now. Okay, let's go ahead and work out D, E, and F. We're still using the standard algorithm. We're going to go ahead and start with D. 3 times 4 is 12. So we write our 2 in the ones place, and we carry our 1 over the tens place. Now let's multiply 3 times 4, which is 12. So we just write down the 12, but we can't forget about that 1 that we carried over the tens place. Since that 1 is in the tens place, that's a whole 10 that we need to add to our solution of 122. So now we have 122 plus 10. Let's start by adding in our ones place. 2 plus 0 is 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. And 1 plus 0 is 1. That means that our answer for 44 times 3 is 132. Let's move on to E. The equation for E is 57 times 8. Let's start with multiplying in our ones place. 8 times 7. Well, for 8 times 7, the answer is 56. So we write our 6 in the ones place, and we carry our 5 over the tens place. Then we multiply 8 times 5, which is 40. We just go ahead and write down that 40. Okay, now we cannot forget about our 5 that we carried over the tens place. And since that 5 is in the tens place, then that's 50. So we need to add 50 to our solution of 406. So now we have 406 plus 50. Let's start by adding in our ones place. 6 plus 0 is 6. And 0 plus 5 is 5. And 4 plus 0 is 4. So our answer to 57 times 8 is 456. Now let's look at letter F. The equation for F is 84 times 9. Let's start with our ones place. 9 times 4 is 36. So we write a 6 in our ones place and we carry that 3 over the tens place. Next, we multiply 9 times 8. And 9 times 8 is 72. So we go ahead and we write that down. Now, don't forget about that 3 that we carried over that tens place. The 3 is in the tens place, so it's equal to 30. So we're going to go ahead and add 30 to our solution of 726. Let's start adding with our ones place. 6 plus 0 is 6. 2 plus 3 is 5. And 7 plus 0 is 7. So that means our answer to 84 times 9 is 756. Now would be a good time to pause the video to check your work against my work, or to go ahead and make sure that you write down all the work that we've done here so that you have complete and correct homework. Number 3 says, what is the product of 5 and 85? That's the same thing as saying, what is the answer? If you multiply 5 and 85, product is the same thing as saying the answer for a multiplication equation. So they want us to multiply 85 times 5 and find the answer. So let's write out 85 times 5. And let's start with the ones place. 5 times 5 is 25. So we're going to write 5 in the ones place, carry our 2 over the tens place. Now let's multiply 5 times 8. 5 times 8 is 40. And we're going to write down our 40. Now remember, we have that 2 that we carried over the tens place. Since that 2 is over the tens place, that 2 is equal to 20. So we have to add 20 to our solution of 405. So now we have 405 plus 20. Let's start adding in our ones place. 5 plus 0 is 5. And 0 plus 2 is 2. And 4 plus 0 is 4. So that means that the product of 5 and 85 is 420. Now, if you need to pause the video to check your work, go ahead and do so now. Let's take a look at number 4. Rowan earned 55 points playing a game. Rowan's mom earned 3 times as many points as Rowan. How many points did Rowan's mom earn? Okay, Let's take this one sentence at a time. Rowan earned 55 points playing a game. So that's information. I'm going to write that down. Rowan, 55 points. Okay. Rowan's mom earned 3 times as many points as Rowan. So that means 3 of the same thing that Rowan did, 3 times. So I'm going to write 3 boxes and put 55 in each box. That's 3 times as many as Rowan earned. So 1, 2, 3. 3 times what Rowan earned. Okay. Now the question is, how many points did Rowan's mom earn? Well, how can I write 3 55s as an equation? So I could say 55 plus 55 plus 55, or I could write it as 55 times 3. And now we need to solve. So we write it vertically, 55 times 3. Now we start with our ones place. 3 times 5 is 15. So we write our 5 in our ones place and we carry our 1 over the tens place. Then we multiply 3 times 5, which is 15. So we just go ahead and write that 15 down. But we cannot forget about that 1 over the tens place. Since that 1 is in the tens place, that's a whole 10 that we need to add to our solution. So now we have 155 plus 10. Let's start adding in our ones place. 5 plus 0 is 5. 5 plus 1 is 6. And 1 plus 0 is 1. So our solution, or our product, of 55 times 3 is 165. That's our answer. Now, if you need to pause your video to check your work, do so now. Or if you need to pause the video to write everything down, it's time to do that as well. Let's take a look at number 5. To get enough money to go on a field trip, every student in a club has to raise $53 by selling chocolate bars. There are 9 students in the club. How much money does the club need to raise to go on the field trip? Okay, so to get enough money to go on the field trip, every student, every single one of them has to raise $53. So 9 students, each student has to raise $53. That's a get chart. Every student. That means each student. Okay, so there are 9 students, and each student has to raise $53. And I need the total, because the total is going to tell me how much money does the club need to raise to go on the field trip. So that equation would be 9 times $53 equals my unknown number. And that unknown number is the amount of money that the club needs to raise to go on the field trip. So let's set this problem up vertically so that we can solve using the standard algorithm. So we have 53 times 9. Start in our ones place. 9 times 3 is 27. So we write a 7 in the ones place. We carry our 2 over the tens place. Now we multiply 9 times 5, which is 45. Go ahead and write that down. Now, we cannot forget about our 2 over the tens place. Since that 2 is in the tens place, it's equal to 20. So we have to add 20 to our current solution of 457. And now we have 457 plus 20. We start adding with the ones place. 7 plus 0 is 7. And 5 plus 2 is 7. 4 plus 0 is 4. So our product, or our answer, for 53 times 9 is 477. If you need to, go ahead and pause the video so that you can make sure to check your work and write down the correct solution. You have completed all of the questions in Lesson 22 homework. You've done an excellent job. As always, I hope this video helped. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.